There they go into the back. The blue line on. We have a race, and Satnova's beaten Pure Steel out by a length and a half.
Welcome to Talking Trots, hosted by Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
The sensational Sydney sider, Seals to Sam, comes off the back straight. He's a bucket load of alliteration, this fellow.
Scott Bomber Hill will join the boys to look at the Friday night meeting at Gloucester Park.
Here comes Quinny. I'm the mighty Queen is 4 deep and letting go.
Sit back and enjoy Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley.
I'm the mighty Queen is just in front. Dasher VC can do no more. And the West Australian champion has done it again. Tenzing Bromack, now the Mickey Taker gets to the outsiders, finishing gamely as well. Very wide out, never ending, trying to let go with a run. Getting clear as well as Wild West. Steal the show in the straight. Tenzing Bromack hit the front, giving chase on the outside. The Mickey Taker, never endings down the centre as well. In front, Tenzing Bromack, never endings absolutely flying down the outside. Never ending coming with a brilliant run, gets up on the line. What a performance.
What a performance indeed. Never-ending return to Gloucester Park, and what a performance it was. Hello and welcome to Talking Trots, and we thought we'd open the show with the performance of Never-ending on his way to the Eureka. Big show planned. We're going to talk to Chris Barsby about the Queensland, and obviously he's calling all the actions up there at Queensland at the moment with Leap to Fame set to go around again, and some really good races. And also we're going to dissect a few races in the preview for Gloucester Park, plus with Bomber Hill, who's back, and Ollie's along to tip us a few winners in the country and provincial venues. But it is time to welcome in Glen Mortimer and Morts. Welcome and congratulations. You must have been so happy with his return on Friday night.
Yeah, good evening, Michael. Always good to be talking trots on a Thursday night with you. Last Friday night was a fabulous night. It was the first step towards Eureka, and it was a real good positive one. Great drive by Justin Prentice. Gee, wouldn't we all love to see him drive a little bit more? Just a great job. Yeah, certainly would. But it was great. He got him settled straight away, and midway through the race, I thought, yeah, we're probably going to finish in the top four, which was a tick. And just to see him storm home down the outside with a beautifully timed run by Justin Prentice was very satisfying.
It was very special, wasn't it? Like, you don't see horses give free-for-all horses starts and beatings like that. And not if they went helter-skelter up front. Justin had to wait before he took off because of Hampton Banner was on his outside and waiting for him to drop off, and then getting around the turns. And the other thing that he must have been really pleased with, he steered around the bends a lot better. He copped a bump that didn't really worry him too much, and as soon as he flattened out, he really attacked the line.
His manners were good. On the turn, he actually looked like he almost sidestepped and then straightened and didn't lose the momentum. I think last time in he probably might have thrown the teddy out of the cot. Yeah. And, Justin said that he's really, really matured, and it certainly shows. And he did have a bag of tricks, last time he was in, a big bag of tricks.
Well, he's just immature as well. Yeah. That's the way it is. And racing these better free-for-allers and coming off the track against them as well, the work that Justin's put into the horse and those couple of runs against the better horses, I think, has paid dividends.
Yeah, absolutely. First up over the 25, some nice horses. Jumping Jack Mack took everything before him. Tenzing Bromack, very talented horse. Mickey Taker, really quality field, and just to round them up like that was, it was pretty amazing. It was great.
Team happy? Justin happy?
Justin was very happy. It was his birthday. So,
yes,
so it was a great birthday present for him, and he was very happy. He certainly made the trip back to buoying up a lot better, I'm sure. That's for sure. So, no, it was good.
It was very good, but great as well, because there was a few questions as well, like Frankie Ferocious, we'll talk to Chris about it. Yep. We're still not sure where he is, because he went terrible first up, and then
a flat tyre
second up. So we really don't know where he is. And High Above, who they're tipping to get a slot, broke and didn't take any competitive part. He's in again on Saturday night at Melton. Same with Petrarca, who's first up since the since the Victoria Derby, and we don't he hasn't raced for 9 months or whatever it is. And the Lost Storm ran last in a free for all on Saturday night. So there's been a few. He certainly stamped his authority, I think, on the race going into it, and there's a few question marks over the others. So hopefully everything continues to go smooth for you. Morts, he's not here this week, but back next week over a mile where you get to draw wide.
Doesn't suit him. But look, the grand final is in 7th of September. But yeah, I just think, Justin just would have been really happy with him on Friday night. Like I said, his manners were really, really good. And I think he's now happy that he made the decision to go to like the Bunbury Cup and to the,
it's paying dividends
and the
now.
Nullarbor, because racing against those better quality of horses must have matured him. And
it is an adjustment for horses going out of their age group into that next level, and sometimes it takes a little bit, but obviously it's certainly helped him.
Yeah, it certainly has. So it was a good night, but it was a good night on Friday night in full stop.
Yeah.
And Ollie stepped in for Bomber last week, and he got one winner from 3 bets, and then he had a couple at Bunbury, a couple of Northam, and a couple at Albion Park, and he got 3 winners out of 6 bets. So wasn't a bad effort first up for Ollie.
No.
Did very, very well indeed. But great night last Friday night at GP as always. Big shake of the head in the first by Kyle Harper. It was like, thought his head was going to fall off, but that didn't bother Stewie. He just went straight past to the lead, and Captain Bligh finally got a win. Found the fence and got a win. He's been very wayward, but a nice horse. And then
He's got ability. There's no doubt about that. He just we haven't put it together yet, I don't think.
Just needs to be glued to the rail, I think. Penny Black worked around to the breeze and hung on for a nice win.
Wasn't she impressive?
Very impressive.
Adam Durant was here on Friday night. Got interviewed by Tim after the race.
Yeah, good to see the cross code there. My Ultimate Baxter, Richie called it in the run, a long way from home, travelling very well. He's very good at doing that, Richie.
Yep.
He picked it a long way in the run and he won well. Armour X Factor got the easy lead with Hillview Bondi galloping and Never in Danger. Never Ending, we've spoken about. Otis, that was a great drive by Dylan in the breeze. Really rated the horse very well and was just very strong. And El Waddell for your man Lindsay Harper, just led, and that was that.
Well supported. Started $1.70 favourite.
Vegas Strip gave backers a bit of a scare in the 8th. And Sebastian James beat a nice field in the last.
Yeah, they're probably the two you've got to beat, I think, in the 3-year-old. Vegas Strip and Bet the House. Menemsha came back on Tuesday.
Was good.
Was okay, yeah.
Yep.
I think a pass mark.
Yeah,
and then
good.
Grievous came out and won really well against the older horses. So we're seeing these Derby horses come back. It's got to be good going into the 3-odd races. We're starting to see them come back and starting to get a line on them.
Yeah, but Vegas Strip, very impressive. He's going to be...
Bet the House, like he got beaten neck.
Very underrated horse.
If he gets the right run, I think he's the horse to beat at the moment.
Yeah, Chris Folk does drive him well. So Friday night, Michael, we had a driving double to Chris Lewis, and that was it.
Oh.
Friday night at Northam, we had a driving double to Corey Peterson, and that was it. And then Saturday at Bunbury, it was the Bunbury boys who led the charge. Yeah, Aidan Warwick had a driving and training double. Justin Prentice. Apologies. My apologies, Aidan. Aidan DeCampo had a driving double and training double.
And on DeCampo Memorial Night as well.
He certainly did.
Must be special.
Justin Prentice had a driving and training double as well. Then on Monday at Pinjarra, a driving double to Denny Roberts and a treble to Shannon Savelko. There's that name again. And GP on Tuesday. 2 winners to Aidan DeCampo as a trainer and 4 winners as a driver, and another 2 to Shannon as well. So topped off a great week of harness racing, Michael.
Yeah, I think he's got to have a good period, Aidan, coming into this. Like, he's got good, 2, 3. These are the age groups, and I think he's going to play a big part going into some of these races.
First into the straight, the 26 winners, Straighty Ferocious, off its back, sooner the better. Then came Captain's Knock, driving up on the inside. Don't Stop Dreaming's got a lot of ground to make up. The leader is still Frankie Ferocious. Sooner the better's coming at it. Frankie the Ferocious, he needs to lift. He is Frankie Ferocious in front. It's Frankie's Chariots. Frankie Ferocious wins it, beats Sooner the Better. Captain's Knock
through himself. So, tell you what, the driving ranks at the moment, they're
stretched.
Yeah, they are.
They're really stretched because there's a lot of quality horses around.
Yeah, coming into these big races. But yeah, no, it was good Friday night. Good crowd.
Excellent crowd.
You were on track, and Christmas in July, Morts.
Yeah, no, it was...
Got plenty of functions on this Friday night as well, and actually one of the races, Jess Moore 80th.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Jess Moore was from North.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
And the family's here, and Scotty Hamilton has got a video ready to go as well. So,
oh, fantastic. Yeah. And is Marty here this week as well, or is
Marty,
that last week?
Marty he's up in Christmas in July.
He'll get him revved up upstairs.
If you want to go and have a beer with Marty, book in Christmas in July.
No, I managed to stick my head in the other night and grabbed a couple of oysters, and it's a lot up there, Michael.
Hey, when you come, they all step aside. They know.
There is a lot up there. Amazing buffet, really is. And you can get some drink packages and everything. So
yeah, it's been good Christmas in July.
2 more to go?
2 more, and they're probably going to be the biggest of the lot as well.
So any tickets left for this Friday night?
Yeah, there is. So if you want to book into Christmas in July, book in.
Certainly
get on the website, gloucesterpark.com.au, and it's going to be really good because and then next week the bookings are really solid, but I'm tipping a lot of people want to come and see Never Ending go around again.
Yes, look, it'd be great to see him go around, particularly over the short distance. It's going to test the driving skills of Justin Prentice, that's for sure.
And big decision coming up as well, because Junior's appealed his suspensions. And it was heard yesterday, and I think we'll get a decision either tomorrow or Monday. So
just keep our fingers crossed that all that goes well.
So I think he's appealing the severity of the Yosso fine and the entirety of the Wild West. So we'll see what happens, because it's obviously big for you as well.
Huge,
because as much as Justin's been driving great, Junior's got to be driving in the Eureka and. Yeah. And I
know Justin's not keen in driving him at Menangle, so we'd need to find somebody at Menangle in the lead up, and then Junior on the race night.
Well, he's got enough going on trying to get a horse ready for a 2.1 million.
He has got a lot going on.
Indeed. But now it's time to bring in our special guest, Chris Barsby, and just before we do it, let's go back to last Saturday night, and all eyes were on Albion Park, and tell you what, it looked to be a great clash. The half-brothers in Leap to Fame and also Swayze. There was some debate whether Swayze was going to hold up. He did. It looked like it was going to be a race, but at the 400 or 500, Grant Dixon had other ideas, and Leap to Fame raced to Swayze and put beyond doubt who is the better brother.
Out and trying to make a run as Don Lu. Back straight quarter, 27-7. Look at the power. Leap to Fame racing clear of Swayze. Third and battling away Firefox. Leap to Fame is doing it easily. Leap to Fame, a big statement. Races clear and bolts in. Leap to Fame, Swayze, Simply Sam.
Yeah, Leap to Fame, the voice of Queensland harness racing, joins us on the line. Chris Barsby. Chris, welcome to the program.
Mick, appreciate it. Glenn, appreciate the time as well. Looking forward to Saturday night. We get to see him again. He won this race last year. Race record time, 150.2. Interesting, just doing some stats on this race. First stage back in 1983. Amazing Trick was the inaugural winner. Slowest time, 159.4. And you talk about the evolution of racing. Last year, Leap to Fame, 150.2. Can he break the 150 barrier? Only one horse has done it at Albion Park. Black Sedan's going 49.2. It would be a brave person to say he can't do it this weekend, judging by what he delivered last week.
Chris, Leap to Fame, the best horse you've seen?
No, I wouldn't go that far. Black Sedan's clearly still number one for me, but he's closing the gap. The quality of horse that Leap to Fame is racing compared back to that era when Black Fake was up and about. It's vastly different, but all you can do is win, and he's doing precisely that, Leap to Fame. So he got that shock loss in the Patron's Purse recently at the hands of District Attorney. He then turned it all around with that thumping win over District Attorney at Albion Park, and then last week, I reckon, I've been lucky enough to call him in the bulk of his races. I reckon that's one of his best, and that's scary, because he seems like he's a better, more fully furnished product now than what he was when he made a clean sweep of the Inter Dominion back in December. So Black's a Fake still number one for me, but he's certainly in the conversation, that's for sure.
You're also called Quinny, Chris.
Yeah, exactly right.
So
I've been lucky.
Yeah,
But,
and junior and senior listen to the program, so you can't be. You can't burn
and
your
they'll
bridges.
be listening, all those boys too, the ownership group of I'm the Mighty Quinn. So a special shout out to all those lucky owners of Quinny.
Now, the one thing that we sometimes take for granted, and horses like Leap to Fame don't come along very often, and people really need to make sure they enjoy and get along and watch and get to the track and see horses like this, because these are, generational horses that you just don't come by that easy. And to see them lining up again on Saturday night, it's going to be another cracking event, and just ran the last week in 26.8. Unbelievable.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead. The other thing is, like, listening to Cam McCarthy after the race, Cam Hart after the race, saying, well, I got into my horse, I looked over and Grant hadn't even let him go, which must be scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a good point you raised. Like, these horses don't come along all that often. We're talking about generational type talent. So he's the best we've had since Black's a Fake. And when you consider Black's a Fake retired back in 2010, 2011. So, that's coming up 15 years. So, and I had a conversation with a number of officials, club officials earlier in the week, saying, what are we going to do to get people to come to the track? We can have all the gimmicks and all the giveaways, but at the end of the day, people want to cheer on champions. And this guy's, on the cusp of being one of the all-time greats of the sport. So let's get the message out there that he's racing week to week to week. So it's going to be 4 weeks in a row. If he wins again on Saturday night, it should be shoulder to shoulder. You shouldn't be able to move at Albion Park on Black's a Fake race night Saturday week, because I don't know what more this horse can do. He's holding up his end of the bargain. Now we've got to get the administrators on board, get their thinking caps on, and get people coming back to the races, because people want to see the superstars, and he is a legitimate superstar of our business.
And the other good thing, Chris, it has been week to week to week. So he's building up. It's not as if we have to leave a week. He's gone from the Mr. Feelgood into the Sunshine Sprint, and then he'll go into the Black's a Fake. So it's 3 weeks in a row of seeing a complete superstar.
And at different distances as well, different barrier draws. So you're always getting something a little bit different when you turn up the seam. So he drew barrier 1 when he scored 2 starts ago. Last week, second row draw. This week, he's got a kind front row draw right in the middle. So, as I said, different distances, a mile, 2,100. He'll be at 2,600 next week. So there's good continuity. So we've got to get around him. We've got to think big picture and get people coming back to the races. Hopefully they do that, and hopefully, like I said, it'll be shoulder to shoulder on Black's a Fake night Saturday week.
It is a nice race on Saturday night too, the Sunshine Sprint. Leap to Fame there in 4. One horse that did beat him a couple of starts back was District Attorney, who was drawn there in gate number 3. Over the mile there is 1,660 metres. Is it as simple for Leap to Fame just to turn up and win, Chris, or you think there's going to be a few horses there that might make it a bit tough for him?
Well, it was interesting, Glenn, at the barrier draw on Tuesday. There was a little collective cheer when District Attorney drew 3, and he drew on the inside of Leap to Fame. So they've got confidence because they've beaten him previously in that Patron's Purse. They beat him for speed, and then Grant Dixon, took, great insight from that race, turned it all around and buried him when he scored in that free-for-all 2 starts ago, racing outside him and really poured the pressure on, in particular, down the back straight. I think it's going to be quite tactical. I did speak with Grant Dixon earlier in the week, and he wasn't giving too much away, but most were probably assuming that he'd just roll on by, get the front. But I think Grant wouldn't mind if he has to park outside them again. That way he can really dictate the speed of the race, and he can know where his main rivals are going to be. So I think it's going to be quite tactical. You go back to last year when he won, he came off the speed to score. It was a brilliant performance that night. I think this Saturday night's going to be quite a tactical affair.
No, it sure is, and can't wait to see him and also how the race pans out. A couple of really good races, though, in support, Chris. 2 really good mares, champion mares. Ladies in Red, drawn 2 against Artie's Express, who swept all before her so far since coming from New Zealand.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be a real tactical race as well, Michael. Over the mile, it's a front row where all the power mares have drawn the front row, and a lot of them have early speed. Ladies in Red, not so much. So she draws 2. As a result, she went up as the favourite, and rightly so. She was able to beat the boys in a free-for-all last week at Melton. Here she is lining up against her own sex. Her record is just phenomenal. She's banked over $1 million. She deserves to be in that conversation with some of the all-time great mares like TaylorMade Lombo and Blossom Lady. But I don't think she's going to get too involved early here from gate 2. RD's Express was able to punch through last week from the inside draw, lead all the way, taking the Fleur de Lille. It'll be interesting to see how much work she has to do from that wide draw. Connections of Ludacris have made it pretty obvious that they're willing to hold the lead at all costs here. So I think it's going to be run at a super speed. Last year, Amore Vita was able to score in a mare's record, 150.5. I wouldn't be shocked if they go just as fast here on Saturday night, but I think Ladies in Red is the mare to beat. She's been here before. She won the Rising Sun as a 4-year-old, beating Better Eclipse and Leap to Fame. Turned out to be a fair form race, that one. And David Moran's got a super record with this mare. I looked up his stats. He's had 31 drives on Ladies in Red for 24 victories. So he knows her like the back of the hand, and I think he'll take good confidence with that victory over Mac Dan from Melton last week.
And the race Morts will be most paying attention to, I think, is the Hayden. It's the race where Queensland sent a representative to the Eureka. This is a really quality field. It's pretty even here, Chris. For Real Life was good in the Rising Sun. We've got Free Thinker with Trista Dixon taking the drive. There's a few others in there that go pretty good. What are your thoughts on the Hayden?
Well, I think this is going to be a fascinating race. Just remembering last year, this race was won by Speak the Truth, and we all know what Speak the Truth turned into after, winning this race and competing in the Eureka. I don't think there's a horse in this race that seems to have that level like Speak the Truth was able to reach. And a lot of these horses are backing up after some really tough runs. Like they've gone to the well quite a few times in recent times. For Real Life being one of those, Ragazzo Diatilli, Free Thinkers had some really tough runs. And then you've got Ella Street, who's been low flying, but he's only a 3-year-old and he got beat up last time out. Can he bounce back? He draws well. I think it's going to be a strongly run race because not only is there great prize money up for grabs, I think connections and drivers here are mindful that, a spot in the world's richest race is also up for grabs. So I'm leaning towards Free Thinker because he won't have to get involved early. Trista Dixon's in super form driving at the moment. She won the Redcliffe Cup. She was able to win the Queensland Sun with a rotor. She's been given the keys here to Free Thinker, and I think he might be the horse to beat. Given that he's got that nice trailing draw, doesn't have to get involved early, there's going to be constant power here. So Free Thinker might be the strongest at the finish.
Now, Chris, we appreciate your time because we know you're on a tight schedule. The crowd's been good.
They've been good, but I think they can be better. I'm a harsh marker when it comes to crowds, but like I said, hopefully Saturday night will be good. And if he wins again on Saturday night, Leap to Fame, standing room only for Black's a Fake Night. I'll be disappointed if all of Queensland doesn't want to get behind this horse. Come and cheer him on. Have a look at him in the flesh. Look at him in the parade ring. And Grant and Trista Dixon do a super job. They get him into the parade ring nice and early. Everyone wants to have a look at him. So hopefully on Saturday week, our final night of the Constellation, standing room only.
Chris, we really appreciate your time. We know you're pressed for time. You're calling at Redcliffe tonight. But, mate, as always, you've been brilliant. And, mate, good luck. Great calling on Saturday night. We'll all be tuning in.
Pleasure, guys. Anytime.
Good on you. Chris Barsby, the voice of Queensland harness racing, particularly Albion Park, Redcliffe tonight. Does a great job.
He is the voice, and
tell you what, he knows all the news. He's
always very keen to give up his time and have a chat too, which is great. Chris. Like you said, knows all the news, so it was very informative there. Yeah,
interesting the Hayden coming out, obviously for you, coming out to the Eureka because during the week, Don Hugo was announced in the Singo slot, the John Singleton slot.
And that was a good run last start.
Yeah, ran second in the Rising Sun last start behind Whisper Secret. And Whisper Secret hasn't got a slot, who is eligible for the Eureka, and to tell you the truth, I don't know whether we'll get a slot because Kevin and Kay, if they don't win on Saturday night with Free Thinker, probably going to put the Free Thinker into their slot.
Yeah, okay.
So, which is I think their number one seed. as far as they got 3 in the Hayden, mind you, who are eligible. And then of the rest, so the Hayden have got a slot, so the winner of the Hayden will go through.
Yeah.
Tas Racing's got their own slot, and they've got the bow tide coming up to determine who's going to go in there. So that only leaves, if you take out Seymour, 2 slots. Western Jewel, Wayne Loader, who now doesn't have Extreme C, will be on the lookout, and Team Zav, Danny Zavansanis. So, and he's got Petrarca, who comes back on Friday night. His first run since the the Victorian Derby. He goes around in race 4 on Saturday night, which is about 5 o'clock our time. And he's also talked about the stablemate, which he doesn't own, of putting in High Above, who's in race number 6. And High Above raced last Saturday night or Friday night, but galloped and was out. So whisper a secret, the winner of the Rising Sun could be in a little bit of pain of actually getting a slot. So it's all coming down now. They've locked it in. The 5 that have been locked away are never ending for Soho. Captain's Knock, who was really good in the Rising Sun, coming from well back. Nothing went his way for Daniel Cordine, the Cordina team. Summit Bloodstock, who won it last year within Cypher, have locked in the Lost Storm, who didn't go great in the free-for-all, was mentally in the free-for-all and everything went against it, was back in the field and not many horses made ground, but neither did he. Frankie Ferocious for the Tab. We don't know where he's at. And then Don Hugo for Luke McCarthy has been locked in for the Singo. So for you guys, hopefully everything continues to go smooth, because there's a lot of machinations going on around you.
There are, and I guess one for us is we have to get to...
And you've got to get there, that's right. So and then you've got to trial and
to Victoria, get up to Menangle. Not familiar with the track, so got a bit to go in front of us, but off to a good start, Michael.
It's been a very good start. So really good, and great to see the Queensland Carnival going strong. Going
very well.
Yeah, no, it's going great guns.
And having a draw card like Leap to Fame was like us when we had Quinny.
Quinny, that's right.
That night he won the Inters here, it was wall-to-wall people.
That's right.
People just
every time he raced, people wanted to come and see him. And
so they
hopefully Never Ending develops into that as well, because he's the next type of horse that can really capture the hearts of the imaginations, I think, of the public, the general public, and that'd be really good if he can continue on the trajectory that he's on at the moment. And winning the Eureka would be a great step there.
It would be a very good start, very, very good start. But one step at a time, Michael.
Indeed. No pressure, Morts, for the great trainer. Now, this segment, Morts, is brought to you by Retrovision, your local WA electrical appliance specialist. RAC members receive an additional 5% every day.
Now, stop the press right there. If you're an RAC member and you're looking to buy an LG product, an LG TV, soundbar, monitor, notebook, fridge, washer, they do the whole gamut of products. Until the end of July, we are doubling your RAC discount, 10%. So it's 10% off.
The best price.
Off the best price. And at the moment, today, we have a big 86-inch LG down from $2,895 down to $1,995 plus 10% for an 86-inch TV. You're going to pick it up for about $1,795. Not bad.
That's really good if you're an RAC member. Get in to your local Retrovision store. There's plenty around.
There certainly is.
Or go online.
Correct.
Retrovision.com.au.
Which I know you will be after this show, just to purchase one of those big screen TVs.
I get the emails.
Stay tuned. There'll be an LG double discount one coming through very shortly, Michael.
Indeed. All right. And a bit of news. Morts spoke to Silky Moore. Unfortunately, they're really promising horse Sweet Pins is going to have an extended break. So he's had to go to the Spelling Paddock, which is
had the one
start for one win and looked really, really good. Had the trial, bounced into the race, and they got massive wraps on him. So unfortunately, and also for Silky, Fly by Lou, who was so impressive, and then went to Bunbury.
Just hung on.
Well, over-raced and whatever else. So I think she's out for a bit of an extended period as well. So
that's no good.
Yeah, so unfortunately for Silky over the last couple of days,
that's
great
racing,
news.
Unfortunately.
It is.
We've all had it happen to us. But,
yes.
That's a shame about that filly. She certainly added some X factor.
Yeah, no, it was, she was going to make every race that she was in exciting, wasn't she?
Certainly was, certainly was. No,
but hopefully it's not too serious and not too long out, and we get to see her back, and because, very promising. But no, two very promising horses for one of our main men.
Yeah, not good.
In Glenmore, who'll be on the Retrovision preview tomorrow morning.
He certainly will. He's always on the Retrovision preview. He's a great supporter of harness racing. Had some great horses over the years.
Talk about Quinny.
Great
Chicago Bull.
Great
and the like.
Good luck to him.
So really interesting, and unfortunate for those couple. But tell you what, the racing's really heating up for us, and we get to see Artie by the Seaside come back. Talking about
can't wait.
Owned in the same interest, part owned by the same interest as Artie's Express in the Mares race, and really looking forward to her hitting the track and what she's going to do over the next couple of months, heading into those Mares races at the end of the year. And we got to listen to Penny Black in the not too distant future, but she was really good as well.
She was very good. No, the racing is starting to heat up, which is really good. We look forward to the big carnivals coming up.
Yeah, now on Monday, 11 races.
Gloucester Park, not Pinjarra.
No, Gloucester Park, the first of 11 at 12:07, which is the Retrovision lowest price guarantee pace.
There we go.
It's a trot for you. Oh. I think is it a trot?
They always do that for me.
No. Yes, it is.
It is, of course. Now, the reason for not being at Pinjarra?
They go down for 2 weeks of the year. It was originally around the New Year, and Christmas, but they've moved it back into July, so there's 2 weeks off for them.
Is that just a bit of maintenance?
Yeah, I think they renovate the track and stuff like that. And,
right.
Yeah. So 2 weeks a year. Used to be at the end of the year, now it's in the middle of the year. So we're racing for the next 2 weeks at Gloucester Park.
So Bunbury on Wednesday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, Bunbury?
Tuesday is Bunbury, yes. Tuesday is Bunbury. But interesting, we got to see Grievous come back last week. It was really impressive.
Very impressive.
He goes around there's a level 5 and 6. Artful Mickey, 3 out of 4. He's drawn 1. Grievous in 2.
That'd be an interesting
Mandown,
contest.
who's favourite on Friday nights, in 6.
Trained by Junior.
Louis Dior making his return to the track.
I remember Louis
as well.
Dior.
He's in the race, so
that's a cracking field.
It's a good race.
It is a good race.
A couple of really nice races on Tuesday, but also Morts. We saw another return of another 3-year-old from Aidan de Campo, Menemsha. I said a pass mark, might have been a little bit hard, but he worked a little bit hard, but Prince of Pain got close, and I think and Cork and Run was really good, making up some ground. So I think it's going to be a good form race moving forward for these 3-year-olds as well, going to the Derby. That race, Prince of Pain is in on Monday. Is on tomorrow night in race number 1 as well. Yeah. So we get to see Prince of Pain back up.
I think you'll find Meneshma will be vastly improved by the run.
Yeah. Yeah,
vastly
no doubt. And I think you got that from the interview with Aidan saying
going to be one of the key horses coming up in this carnival.
Yeah, no doubt about that, because he was the 2-year-old of the year last year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And deservingly so, and bounces in. But I think it's a pretty even lot of 3-year-olds.
It's a good lot of 3-year-olds.
Bet the house. I don't think there's anything that's said on the best of the lot yet. So I think, depending on a few different things, I think we've got to get a few different results. So
looking forward to it.
That's really good. Let's go to the break and let's listen to Menemsha holding on to beat Prince of Pain.
Really, apart from that dash on that turn going into the back, and it moves up outside of Menemsha and starts to make it interesting. And it moved up Prince of Pain to Menemsha now in the straight. It's Menemsha the inside and Prince of Pain, and then Cork can run. Menemsha tries to fight back, does so. Prince of Pain can't get it at the moment. Menemsha just in front of Prince of Pain, who drives at it again. Menemsha clinging on, wins by half a head to Prince of Pain.
Hi, I'm Steve Sell from Loans 123. We are car finance specialists. We can help you find the loan you're looking for, your new car, and help find a home for your old one. If you want a new or used car but feel uncomfortable visiting car yards on your own, we can help and often save you money. For a stress-free way of buying and financing your next car, who do you see? Steve Sell at loans123.com.au or call 1800 100 100.
Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
Beyond the sea, around the turn, Penny Black and Little Darling come together. 28-2, Champagne Everyone gets out as well. In the straight they run. The leader, Penny Black. The outside trying hard is Little Darling. Champagne Everyone. Penny Black's been really tough. SS keeps her going. Penny Black is holding them at bay, and Penny Black has won by 3 metres to Little Darling. 2 metres away.
Yeah, Penny Black. And if you read the ownership at the start of Penny Black, it's Cownie. Oliver Cownie.
Ollie.
A.G. Durant. Adam Durant
from the Gallops.
There's a couple of leopards in there. So, yeah.
E. Birchall?
No, I don't think Eddie's in that one.
Okay.
But anyway, she looks pretty good.
Certainly does.
Doesn't she?
Very impressive so far since being here.
It's sort of a bit hard to get a gauge on how good she is because she's sort of been winning, but you knew there was something more there, but she just keeps on going up. She wins by the same.
Yeah, exactly. Hasn't come out and completely blown a field away, and then just they've caught up with it. Just continued to find the line and find it well.
Yeah, once she got control of the race, she was awfully hard to beat. She's got to go on, and I think we're going to see her in the bigger mares races at the end of the year. 4-year-old mare as well. So, a couple of options there for the powerful Michael Young team.
Very powerful Michael
consider.
Young.
Yes, indeed. And unfortunately, as we said, Fly by Lou. It's probably going to be a bit of time on the sidelines for the team.
The other one last week we heard about was Montana DJ.
Yeah, unfortunately for Montana DJ. So, yeah, indeed. All right, this segment, Morts, is brought to you by Steel Blue Boots, built for comfort, made for work. And they've got over 700 stockists nationwide. And our man Ross Fitzgerald was on the drive show with Marty Young last week.
And so was I.
So were you. So was I. All three.
All three. Anyway, Steel Blue Boots, as we know, they are a mark of true skill, like our man Ross Fitzgerald is, designed for comfort, durability and choice, and backed by a 30-day, 100% comfort guarantee.
They are the best boots. All our track staff wear them.
They look good.
The chefs wear them.
They look good. They're very comfortable. They're just a standout boot.
They sure are. Boot. They sure are. All right, he's fresh from a break. And
I don't know if he's going to be that fresh. It was a footy trip.
It was a footy trip. But getting back into the saddle this week is our man, Scott Hill. Bomber, welcome to the program. How are you feeling?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, no, good to be back. It was sort of junior. It was a junior carnival, which saved me a little bit. Much easier than the senior one, that's for sure.
Much less taxing on many fronts, I bet.
Absolutely.
All right, we got 10 races on Friday night at Gloucester Park. It's the Rotary Club of Fremantle Free For All, the traditional free for all this time of year. It's 5:17 is the first, and Bomber, when he comes back, he's going to start off with the main race of the night, which is the Rotary Club of Fremantle Free For All. It's for $31,000 over the 25-36 metres. Unfortunately, no markets up. Hopefully they're up for the Retrovision preview in the morning for the boys, but this is a good free-for-all. We've got the Codebreaker, drawn 1. Talks Up a Storm resumes. Very good gate speed there. The Mickey Taker in 3, who was fantastic last week.
He was great.
Soho Dow Jones in 4. Diego in 5. Madison Brown takes the drive. Armour Einstein. Emily Savalco drives Armour Einstein. While They Pray with Shannon Savalco. Wild West, Stuart McDonald for Senior, and Mighty Conqueror Danny Roberts has the drive for Team Bond, drawn the extreme outside. Bomber, this is a really competitive free-for-all. The race of the night, how do you see it?
Yeah, it is a nice race, Rads, but with Diego, I thought this was the race that Madison could probably let him rip off the gate from the middle of the line at that front straight start. And the code breaker looks to be able to hold those drawn between the two of them. And I thought he's got a phenomenal record in front, this guy, and he's been really, really good for a long time against the established WA top liners. And, you know, if he can cross, I think it's just about race over if he does land in front. But if he doesn't lead, then there's a really good chance he cops the 1-1, I think, because I'd expect Mighty Conqueror to get around to the breeze at some point. So either way, I think he's going to get a really good trip, and he deserves to win one, that's for sure.
I think it really depends whether he can get to the front. Mighty Conqueror was great last week, and the Mickey Taker's been in excellent form as well. So should be a great race. But race number 5, horse number 5, Diego, we know he's a very, very good beginner, and if it gets to the front, will be very hard to get across. So what is our staking plan there, Bomber?
Yeah, 2-unit bet, Mort. So hopefully he can really let rip off the arm there and find the pegs for us.
Yeah, good race.
All right, that's the feature race of the night. It is race number 5. The next race we got to look at is race number 6. This is the stand start. So happy birthday. Happy 80th birthday, Jess Moore, condition pace. And let's have a look at this. This is a really competitive race as well. We got De Horse, Longreach Bay, 2 Bob Cracker, Soho Santorini, Feeling Aces, Paraquet off the front line. Then we go to the 10-metre mark. We've got Akuto, Rock Artist and Fire Rock, Fire Roll. Hampton Banner drops back from the free-for-all company into the condition pace, but is off 20. And alongside him is Steal a Show. And great drive by Dylan last week. Burn across. There was enough room for Dylan to slid in behind the leader and just didn't get a great deal of luck in the run to the line, but still the show also drops back in class and is on the 20. Bomber, which way do you see the stand start going?
Yeah, here's the obvious class, still the show, and I think while Soho Santorini could worry him if he found the top, I'm confident still the show can get to his flank pretty quickly and just be too quick for him late. The only possible way I can see him beaten is if he encountered a bit of traffic that I don't really foresee, and Soho Santorini happened to find a ridiculously easy lead. But he's been racing against the elite for a long time now, this guy, and races really, really well. As you said, he was really good last week, and he can run 56 from the chair, no problem at all. And I don't think Soho Santorini could match that with him at this point. So, and not to mention he's having his first stand start, and there's plenty of fast beginners around him, so that could be a bit of an issue as well. So expect the class to shine here and steal the show to get it done from the back mark.
Yes, just get in the queue, I think, Bomber, providing all goes well, because it is a stand, and we know that some things can happen, and you'll bring a note next week. But number 11 in race 6, Steal the Show for Greg and Sky Bond, driven by Danny Roberts off the 20 metres. What's the staking plan there, Bomber?
I'm going in hard with a 3-unit bet, Maud, so I will need a note if we don't get this one.
It's good to have you back, Bomber.
Yeah, it's good to have you back with 3 units.
We had to explain a couple of rules to Ollie last week.
I did. I actually listened back just to see how Ollie went, and I heard him say over his first one, "How many units can I have?"
Yeah.
I thought, oh, here we go. Here's a big 10-unit coming up, but he did temper it. He did a good performance last week. He got 1 winner there, and then he picked up 3 winners over the weekend.
He hasn't very well. He hasn't learnt the rule yet, Bomber. Don't tip against the G Mortimer horse, because it always comes back to get you.
Sure does.
Including last week. All right.
Play the percentage.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, it's time to take a break. I tell you what, Morts, we mentioned at the top of the show, My Ultimate Baxter. It was a real good performance last week over the short course, but once AC Lewis got outside the leader, just controlled the race beautifully.
Yeah, he certainly did. He is still one of the best in front, or just there controlling the race. Chris Lewis, he's amazing. And that was, Richie called it a long way from home.
Yeah, Richie could see the writing on the wall.
I think Richie was on, but Richie called it a long way from home.
He could see the writing on the wall, as could most punters, as the Hall of Famer, Chris Lewis, controlled the race on My Ultimate Baxter, sent him to the front, and he was far too good.
It's Get Your Bets On with My Ultimate Baxter and the outside Who's a Dad, and they're well clear now from Lamandier, but it's My Ultimate Baxter steaming to the front with 100 to go. Drew clear from Who's a Dad. Lamandier down the outside with Flying Rumour, but My Ultimate Baxter travelled really strongly in the breeze. Comes clear. Great battle for the Miners. Who's the Dad? And Lamandier lunged on the outside and got there on the...
There's always a lot more in store for you at Retrovision. Like Retrovision's lowest price guarantee. If you find a lower price on a same-stocked item, we'll beat it. There's our 60-day price promise, where we'll refund you 120% of the difference if you find a lower advertised price on any purchase. Plus, RAC members save an extra 5% every day of the year. After 60 years, a lot has changed, but there's still a lot more in store at Retrovision.
You are listening to Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley.
Blaze Coops, Lucid Dreams, Gold Horseshoe. Nothing's coming. Balezanir is trying to find a run. Is a top four player if it gets out, but around the turn, Captain Bligh well clear in a 28.8. Has got it one from Blaze Coops. Balezanir will get out and probably run a place. Lucid Dreams, Gold Horseshoe battling on, but Captain Bligh comes right away, and Captain Bligh wins it very impressively from Blaze Coops, the roughie, and third in Balezanir. Right.
That's a good performance. Morts, Captain Bligh might be putting it together.
Certainly was. He's quite erratic, but has lots of ability in just finding the fence there when he just went straight past Kyle Harper, who was very insistent that he wasn't going to give up the lead. And Stewie thought, I'm going, and he did, and he got the money, which was good.
Yeah, it goes around in race number 2 tomorrow night at 5:52 over the short course. Velocipede's drawn 1, Colorado Banner 2, Captain Bligh in 3. Blaze On in 4, Soho Gigolo 5, Franco Western in 6, Lucid Dreams in 7, and Coney Island Lou in 8. Interesting that Stewie's gone with Captain Bligh over Coney Island Lou, with Trent Wheeler aboard Coney Island Lou.
Oh, yeah, it was disappointing.
Yeah, a little. I thought. In the heat of the. It was
very disappointing.
Higgins,
that was a great race.
Yeah, I thought he was short, considering what he's done compared to horses like Soradair and
a lot of the
odds in that have been racing against much better class horses. But it'd be interesting to see where he bounced back this week with Trent Wheeler aboard and Stewie opting to drive.
Trent, very good.
Yes, but Stewie opting to drive Captain Bligh. That's race number 2 tomorrow night. Now, this segment of sports, before we get back into Bombers preview, is brought to you by Loans 123, Car Loans, Debt Consolidations, or your personal finance. Who do you see?
The great man, the nude nut, Steve Sell.
Yes, loans123.com.au, or the very easy to remember number 1-800.
100, and still doing things the banks can't, Michael.
Yeah, sure are. He's a great man, Stevie Sell. Listen to him.
He's a funny bloke.
Yeah. He is a good fella.
He is.
He is a good fella. And great supporter of Tab Radio, great supporter of ours. And great to have him as a sponsor of Talking Trots. All right, let's have a look at the next race. We got a preview. It is race number 7. And we've got, this is over the 21:30 metres. So Confidential from the pole, Major Freeway, Swaggerman for Ryan Bell and Aidan DeCampo in 3, a colt named Sue, Lindsay Harper for Grace Inwood in 4, Baltic Ace in 5, it's Stablemate the Batmobile outside it, Krakatini in 7, Cavalry Call in 8, Johnny Lombo in 9, and then we've got Get Your Bets On behind the leader for Nathan Turvey, or behind the one for Nathan Turvey, Disco Under Fire in 11, and Let's Rock Tonight in 12. Bomber, Swaggerman looks to probably be the favourite in this race. Which way are we going?
Yeah, not the strongest Friday night race, and I thought Swaggerman, he sort of doesn't have a lot of gate speed and can be a little bit hit and miss, so I went with a bit of value, a colt named Sue for the place. He's a big chance of crossing here, I think, this guy, and then he can either roll in front or take a sit, and either way, once he finds the pegs, he generally runs a big race and normally at big prices as well. So if he doesn't cross, we're in big trouble, but so long as he can put half a length on them, I think he can put enough pressure on to get across. And 2 starts back, he did exactly that, crossed from the start, then took a sit and ran home in 57 and change for his last half. So something similar to that would certainly get him into a place here. And like I said, I think he'll be a really big price.
Now, Lindsay Harper, he's no stranger to driving winners at Gloucester Park, that is for sure, and gets him out of the gate very well. So to your point, Bomber, if the horse can get out very well, there's a very big place chance. There are a few inwards in this race, Michael.
There's a few.
Just the lazy five, so going beautifully. A colt named Sue, race number 7, horse number 4. This is a place bet, Bomber?
Yeah, place bet Morts and just the one unit. Like I said, he's pretty one-dimensional. He does have to cross and then choose to lead or take a sit. But, if he doesn't get across, we're in trouble. So just the one unit.
All right, and the final race we got to look at is race number 8 for the Rotary Club of Fremantle, 2130 metres. It's for the fillies and mares, and we get to see Artie by the Seaside return. The field, scratch the one, the stablemate to Artie by the Seaside. Sister Sammy comes out. We got Little Darling, who now comes into the pole. Blaze Coops, Soho Seraphine, Sovrana, Artie by the Seaside, and 3 Rumours. So only the 6 to go round, but this is an intriguing race. Pay 1-2 is the betting on Tab Touch. Bomber, Artie by the Seaside first up, looks the one to beat. Which way are we going?
Yeah, she certainly does, Rads. And yeah, you've touched on it there. It's just a 1-2 dividend race, but I'm actually prepared to back Little Darling for the place. I've liked her progression this prep, and it's hard to see her winning, but I do think she can repel the early challenge of a few of them here early and then probably take a sit on Artie by the Seaside. And 3 Rumours will be forced to do all the bullocking work, and Little Darling gets the opportunity just to hold onto the helmet, and I think she's a really good chance of kicking through underneath and running into second. The last performance, she was one off the fence, and they ran a middle half of 56 there before she hit the line strong enough off the back of that, and 57 on the way home. And I think that's good enough to maybe just sneak into second here at what will be a pretty good place, Div.
Yeah, look, she was great last start, and this is a cracking field. Looking forward to this race. Race number 8 at 9:10, the Rotary Club of Fremantle Pace. Horse number 2, Little Darling, for the place. What is the staking plan, Bomber?
2-unit place bet. We just needed to hold out Blaze Coops early and then take the sit on the favourite, and yeah, I think she can do enough just to get into second.
And the Howlett stable going extremely well, Michael.
Yep, plenty of winners.
Extremely well.
All right, Bomber, have you got a multi for us?
Yeah, a little multi with a bit of value in the second leg. I thought Raja Rocks would win the first. He just about bullied his way to the top and should win from there. In the race 2, I will go with a place Lucid Dreams. I think massive chance of shanghaiing across and leading here before taking a sit. And if that's the case, can inject some good value for us. And then race 3, number 1, Pierre Whitby. He finds his draw and should be just about peak fitness. So I think he can place from the pole as well.
Tell you what, the second, they've got $81 in the HRA site for Lucid Dreams. So it will inject some value if the market corresponds.
Yeah, I think it's well worth a small play because I do really like Raja Rocks and yeah, I think the other 2 can fill a hole and we're going to get a great price for a small outlay.
Raja Rocks is a full relation to Major Martini.
Oh, yeah, there you go. And won last Saturday night at
Won
Bunbury.
very nicely too.
Yeah, there you go.
Very nice.
Raced by Steve Johnson, yeah, out of Grattan Nicole by Art Major.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Bomber, great to have you back.
Good to be back. Thanks, Reds.
Hopefully we find a few winners and we'll chat to you next week.
Let's hope so. It'd be, it's going to be another good night, that's for sure.
Yep, sure is. Good on you, mate. We'll speak to you next week. There is
Thanks,
Scott Bomber Hill. Hopefully we found a few winners there. Morts, could be a bit tough. Yeah, it might be a bit tough tomorrow night in different places.
Certainly will. Some very open fields and a couple which are, look fairly short, but yeah, very interesting night of racing, that's for sure.
All right. Tell you what, it was a great night of racing at Bunbury last Saturday night.
Terrific night.
You thought it was great. You got a double, but Raja Rocks won the 3-year-old in really good fashion.
Fly by Lou
was, yeah, just again, Danny.
I thought it was going to climb over the mobile.
Yeah.
You could just see it was just couldn't wait for that.
Yeah.
For the arm to go back, and off it went.
We also had the De Campo Memorials in the Colts and Geldings Holy Ammo. Sat behind the leader, used the sprint lane and proved far too good. He was the high price yearling. Good to see him hit the winners list.
Correct, because first up galloped.
Yeah.
and out of play. So second up was good to see bounce back. And, it was the high price one paid by Cat Warwick.
Yep. And the other one we'll speak out in just a moment, but also the Higgins Memorial. It was a great race.
Yeah, sure was.
Sorodere just held on from what are the odds? Gee, how good's he going?
He's absolutely flying, that horse.
Yeah, Hale St. Louis in third position. We got another Higgins Memorial heat at Northam on Saturday night.
Good field too.
Yep, so it's heating up the Higgins Memorial, but good to see the 2-year-old fillies, Morts. You got the cash with Ruby Lavera.
Yeah, good front-running drive by Justin. I think he was fairly confident that if he could hold the lead, she would be hard to beat, and she was. She just liked being on the fence, having that horse on the outside. So good drive and good win.
I think it probably had a bit more depth, the fillies race, compared to the Colts overall. Yeah. And we get to see these. I think we're seeing a few over the next couple of...
Been some nice fillies go around.
Over the weekend, including Bull Sharp Betty and Copperhead Lady, who'll get better with racing. Winter Wonder went super again for you.
Yep.
And Dylan's filly, who was a good second behind you. Not too many punters found it. It was $126, but made sure he stuck behind Ruby Lavera and was a good second.
Certainly was.
But let's go to the break and let's listen to Ruby Lavera winning the De Campo Memorial for the fillies last Saturday night at Bunbury.
Ruby Lavera in front of Jack's Ideal and Winter Wonder. Peels from the 1-1. Comes up 3 deep. Gelsomino Amal sticks in behind them. Followed by Bull Shark Betty and then Copperhead Lady. The leader is Ruby Lavera. Down to the sprint lane, Gelsomino Amal. Boxing on a Jack's Ideal and Winter Wonder. Favourite pulling out plenty. Leads throughout. Wins the fillies to Campo Ruby Lavera. Gelsomino Amal has grabbed second.
New Mazda.
Yep, I love it. We got it from Bayswater Mazda.
I keep hearing great things about them.
They're fantastic to deal with. Great people, great coffee too.
At Bayswater Mazda, you'll always be well looked after. Visit the team today and find the best drive-away deals on new Mazdas and pre-owned vehicles. Driving is better with Bayswater Mazda.
So's the coffee.
Go and see Bayswater Mazda at the corner of Guildford and Garrett Road, Bayswater. DL 25174.
You are listening to Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley.
Side at the Kia Tasman 400 in 27.9. It's Sorodere holding the favourite Coney Island Lou, who was having to pick up here as Sorodere swings for home. Torpedo Rock about to utilise the breather counting sprint lane, and out wider comes What Are the Odds? Sorodere in front. What Are the Odds is steaming home down the centre of the track. Sorodere just in front. What Are the Odds? Hale St. Louis to the outside. What Are the Odds? Goes to say Sorodere, and they photo finish. What Are the Odds? And Sorodere, nothing in it at the line. From Hale St.
Yeah, Sorodere held on in the heat of the Higgins. We spoke about it before. Great performance, and great performance by the first two horses, Morts.
Certainly was. What Are the Odds going amazingly, but just not good enough, and well driven by Aidan De Campo again.
The other one from the country this week, Morts, is on Monday, the Daddy's Daughter Classic, Waterloo. She returned to racing and was far too good.
How good was that to see her bounce straight back?
Straight back after that. Because it's no good to see what happened, and great to see that she bounced straight back to winning form. Morts, Bayswater Mazda. Driving is better in a Bayswater Mazda, corner of Guildford and Garrett Roads, and they sponsor this final segment as we're about to speak to Oliver Cownie.
Yes, I was at Bayswater Mazda just the other day.
Really?
Just popped in to see the boys there and had to get some work done on the leader of the opposition's car, and just all went
straight away.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Perfect. Really, really good. They just very, very efficient, very prompt, very helpful, and geez, they made a great cup of coffee, Michael.
You do like your cup of coffee.
Certainly do.
Morts. Big hello to our country and provincial expert who filled in admirably last week, Oliver Cownie. Ollie, welcome to the program.
Hi, Morts. Right, hopefully we can find a few more winners than we did at Gloucester Park last week. I was only able to get that last one, which sort of saved face a little bit there.
No,
but then you picked up 3 on the weekend, Ollie, so don't be so harsh.
You weren't too far away either.
No, not at all. It was a good first up.
Yeah, no, Yeah, we can be hard markers here, Ollie, but certainly, yeah, we wouldn't mark you down for last week's performance. Big weekend of racing. We got Wagen on Friday night to coincide with Gloucester Park.
7 events.
7 events. The first at 5:41, and then Saturday night at Northam. There's 7 events on Saturday night. The first at 6 p.m. and Mort's, the feature event of the night is the second heat of the John Higgins Memorial, the final at Gloucester Park in early August, and a good field going around there as well. Very even field.
Yeah, it certainly is. As we said, the one in Bunbury was great, and this one at Northam on Saturday night is just as good.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how the form lines measure up between the couple of different venues going into the Higgins final. And also we got to Albion Park. We got a few tips off Ollie there. We've already spoken to Chris Barsby heading into that. But Ollie, let's get into it. What do you got for us? You got to start at Wagen on Friday night. So what do you got for us?
Looks a good little card at Wagen. Plenty of racing on Friday. We'll kick things off in race 4. I'm not sure many horses in WA are actually going better at the moment than Magic Bay. Absolutely flying, this horse. Got taken on throughout last start by a horse that ended up getting beat just a bit over 300 metres. Really gallant in defeat there behind Velocipede. Was battling on right to the end. And Velocipede is a pretty handy horse when he applies himself. Start prior was a nice winner at Northam, coming over the top late. So I think Magic Bay from the inside draw can be really hard to beat there, hopefully leading them up. And I think on Magic Bay's back, Pridar as well, going quite well. So I think potentially price depending, Pridar could be a really good place angle there too if he's able to hold the leaders back early.
Well, it looks a nice race. Race number 4 looks plenty of chances, but we're going with Magic Bay. Number 1, race 4. What else you got for us, mate?
Race 7, I think we'll probably get a little bit more value with this one. Just a Happy Man. Draws a good gate here. I think he looks the most likely leader outside a horse that went in reverse the one time it's drawn gate 1, Wahine Toa. If he's able to lead, I actually think he's going a lot better than he has earlier in his career. He's obviously a 34-start maiden, so he's had a few chances and he's got a few convictions, but he led them up 2 runs back, and I thought he was a pretty gallant midfield finish there behind EB Aviator when leading. So I think if he's able to lead in this race too, then he should be able to run a much better race, and he looks a really good each-way chance at odds.
Was that number 2?
Number 3, Just a Happy Man. So we got race 4, number 1. In race 7, number 3, Just a Happy Man. Named
Driven by your man,
Cody Waldright. Yeah, he's got to give it every chance. But
he's actually got quite a few drives and a couple of horses he trains in there on Friday night at Wagen.
Might have a good night, Cody.
Yeah,
and
I think so.
Named after you, Morts. Just a Happy Man.
Just a Happy
Man.
Well,
tell you what, no one was more happier than me last night.
Oh,
when New South Wales I didn't even bring it up with Chris Barsby. That's how good a winner I am, Morts. But I was very, very happy.
Wasn't that a great game?
It was.
The first
Ollie,
half
who do you go for? Do you New South Wales or Queensland?
Oh, I'm living in New South Wales at the moment, so I guess I'm a New South Wales supporter.
Yeah, good on you.
You guessed
and they
right.
won, so I picked the right side, haven't I?
You guessed right.
Stick with the strength. Yeah. It was great to see the state of origin.
It was.
Tell you what, it was a brutal game.
Yeah, it was
like
great.
that first half was just
great,
non-stop and just
relentless.
Yeah, it was relentless. It's a great word for it, Morts. And
40 minutes of just bash and crash.
Yep. Yeah, it was fantastic.
Without the ability just to do what they do in AFL, which is run off for a couple of minutes, come back on, run off, come on, and just continue to. They were just out there for 40 minutes and just away they went.
And my man Bradman Best broke the game open.
Good was he?
Yeah, after Romy opened him up and
half his lip.
Yeah,
hanging off. But
he was happy after the game as well. In the interviews. Yeah,
and Luau,
and the other thing, and before we're getting off the track here, Ollie, but on social media today there was all pictures of Brian To'o, our winger, getting onto the plane on Qantas, still in his kit.
You saw that?
He didn't change. he still had the New South Wales kit on, number 2. What a great! I think he's done that before. After Penrith have won a grand final, he's still in the kit the next day.
Good on him.
He's a great man.
Very hard to go up and win there at Queensland, particularly the decider.
We've only done it twice.
Yeah,
and
they were chanting New South Wales towards
at different stages. Yeah, well,
that's
because most of the Queensland people left.
Luau was waving.
He was waving to the crowd. But,
great.
Last time we did that, the great Joey Johns was actually dominated that 2005 series, and we're very excited here, Ollie. Anyway, and now let's move on to Northam, which everyone wants to know your tips for. 6 o'clock's the first race, 7 race card, and the feature or the main race on the card is the Higgins Memorial. Heat, what do you got for us at Northam on the Saturday night, Ollie?
Well, hopefully my selections can win like New South Wales did last night.
Yeah, hopefully you're Bradman Best of tipsters.
Race 4 will kick things off in that Higgins heat you mentioned. I thought exactly the same thing. I thought it looked a really even contest. There were probably a few real standouts in that Bunbury heat of the Higgins, but in this race, it's a lot more even than that race was. Codename Marcus, I thought he looked the leader in the race. Belezanero's got really good gate speed too and might have a little bit of a look early, but I do think Codename Marcus looks the leader and he's going really well at the moment. So I think he'll be pretty hard to beat on the front end, but the horse I'm going to go for here on an each-way basis is High Price. I think he just draws ideally inside the back row following out Codename Marcus. I was really taken by his run 2 starts back. He was wide a lot of the last 800 metres, finishing behind Me Flash. Then last start, he was only presented late in a race just dominated by Coney Island. I thought he still hit the line pretty well there and getting a leader's back trail in this race. I can see him being really hard to beat. If Codename Marcus does lead, then I can't see how he'd miss a place.
Shannon Savelko.
Yep.
That name again.
Yes.
Just keeps winning.
Carrie Sayers now training High Price, and tell you, as you said, it's a really even race, and
it's a good race.
Could be a great spot to be just back on the pegs behind him. Even if Codename Marcus gets crossed, he's still going to be 3 pegs, which won't be a bad position. And what else you got for us to finish off Northam, Ollie?
Race 7, another one I'm hoping we get a little bit of value about. By Royal Command was heavily backed last start at Northam. I think it was something like $5 into $1.50. The money was just relentless there. Ended up a pretty distant second behind Rocky Maguire, but did show fairly good gate speed there. Draws the inside gate here and gets the services of Shannon Savelko. So I think that's a really big plus in this race. If he can lead and dictate, I think he should prove really hard to beat. Have a lot of respect for It Is Crunch Time. I'm pretty sure it was going to win that race at Pinjarra before he made a break, but I'm just happy to see him do things right here. He's obviously trialled quite nicely, and he looks really hard to beat. I think he'll be pretty short odds here, drawing a wide gate and having a few convictions at the moment. So happy to hopefully get a bit of value about By Royal Command and see him hopefully lead all the way.
All right, it's race number 7, the Big Jed 2-year-old pace. And some of these 2-year-old form lines we're going to have to put together at different stages as we come into the Pearl and the West Spread in August and September.
Yes, looking very good. And once again, that name, Shannon Savelko.
Yes, indeed. And Ollie, back to Albion Park. We've had Chris Barsby on talking up all the big clashes. Great to see Leap to Fame. Just awesome last week. He backs up in the Sunshine Sprint. The mares are going to be fantastic with Ladies in Red versus Artie's Express and the Hayden to see who represents Queensland, Racing Queensland in the Eureka on September 7. What do you got for us at Albion Park on Saturday night?
It is some fantastic racing there. It's an absolutely stacked card. There's quality through the whole card pretty much. Going to kick off in race 2. This is a series that's pretty similar to the Higgins heats, similar type of horses, the NR 60 to 75 horses. It's always a fantastic race every year, the JC McMullen. I'm going to go for a horse in this race that's drawn off the back row. Ultra Magician was a really eye-catching effort last start in behind Millwood Bliss, who looks likely to be one of the real standout fillies coming through. They went 153 in that race, and Ultra Magician was still hitting the line really strongly. A few runs ago, Ultra Magician came off the back row and was flying home at a 151.5 mile rate. So I think he looks perfectly placed in this race, and there's an absolute stack of early speed. Ironclad, Always Loxley, Duke of Scotland, Kalasa and Western Arterra all have great gate speed. So could be a race with a really genuine early tempo. And if there is, then it'll take plenty of catching, plenty of holding out. Ultra Magician, I think, in the concluding stages. He's probably not the fastest horse, but he's super tough, and he'll keep coming no matter how fast they go.
For the Inform Chantel Turpin stable as well.
Yeah, she's training and driving this one, so I'm not. The market always underestimates Chantel Turpin. I think even before the partnership with Pete McMullen, she was quite a competent driver herself, so she might actually come up at a little bit of value here.
All right, what else you got for us on the big card?
Doesn't take a genius to find this one, but in race 8, I think one for Maltese, Leap to Fame. I can't possibly see him beaten. There's something mate. Like a $1.35 floating around at one stage, which is just ludicrous.
Yeah, he's into $1.18 on Tab Touch. I think they did bet $1.30 about him, but now into $1.18, and it's hard to see District Attorney returning a second defeat on him, isn't it?
No, definitely. Leap to Fame will be winning that race. I'm pretty confident that the rest are just running for the minor money. He's just come back incredible. I thought, now looking back, he was in that Miracle Mile when he's probably a bit disappointing the way he did win that race, because how he's come back, he's just absolutely dominated. He did lose that one race, but was a bit of a dash home. Probably not his go. His 2 runs since have been absolutely off the charts. He's a champion, isn't he?
He sure is. And the other race that Mort's really looking forward to is the Hayden, the 2024 Hayden. We got For Real Life at 260 ahead of Ellis Street. For Real Life, Storm Barrier 5 for Trent Dawson. Ellis Street, Barrier 2, 370. And Free Thinker, the other one in the market at 380. And then Regazzo de Tilly at 650. Did you have a selection in the Hayden to see who's going to go through to the Eureka?
I did. I thought it was a fantastic race. There's a couple I'd probably be keen to have something on. I think the horse-drawn gate one, Charge Ahead, I think it's a really smart 3-year-old, this one. It's quite big odds at the moment. His issue had probably been previously that he'd gotten off the gate pretty slowly, but last start he got off the gate really well. He sat parked and he won in 53.8, which is a really sharp time for a 3-year-old. I think he can sit not too far off the speed here and be one that's running on into the money late. I think the hardest to beat in the race is probably Free Thinker. It's just looking a potentially tricky map for Real Life. If he does roll to the top, then he'll be extremely hard to beat for Real Life. But there's some chance Ellis Street does want to hold the top because he has previously. And if that's the case, then it looks a pretty hard task for Real Life, and your money you'd want to be on Free Thinker in the run. So I think Free Thinker is probably the value at this stage, and Charge Ahead.
All right, Free Thinker is $3.80. Charge Ahead's $31 and $4.25 for the 3-year-old.
Good value.
So always tough though, the 3-year-olds against the 4-year-olds, and we've seen that time and time again. We saw it in the Rising Sun. It was just it's just very, very hard to race those really good 4-year-olds, Ollie.
Definitely. We saw that again last week, didn't we, in the Rising Sun, as you said. It's just the 2 3-year-olds, they were up on speed and they ended up dropping out and getting well beaten. I think this 3-year-old will be pretty happy to tuck in just behind the speed and get a much softer run. If Ellis Street is tiring late, that could be an issue. But Charge Ahead has got some form at the trip and was pretty competitive from outside the back row in one of his races. So I did really think he could be one that sort of bucked the trend of 3-year-olds not being that competitive against the older horses.
Now, Ollie, I hope you didn't spend too much time doing the form on race 8.
At Albion Park?
Yeah. I spent about 3 seconds, saw Leap to Fame was in there and doesn't take too long, does it?
Okay, that's good. Just didn't want you to waste too much time on that one. But
Indeed. Ollie, mate, thanks for your time. As always, good luck over the weekend, and we'll listen to you Monday morning with Timmy Walker.
Thanks very much, guys. Looking forward to it.
Good on you. Ollie Cownie there, often pacing on a Monday morning.
Did a good job last week, Ollie. Did a good job.
Yeah, really good job.
Just thrown in there, did a very good job. So
hopefully found a few winners. Wagen, Friday night, Northam Saturday in Albion Park, Saturday night.
Great weekend of racing, that is for sure. And we've got 50 sleeps until the Eureka, Michael.
Not that you're counting.
Not that we're counting, but only 50 to go. It's going to come around very, very quickly. Nullarbor.
Yes.
25th of April.
Yes.
Interesting date.
Exact day, yes. I think there was a few issues this year with it, including Easter's as late as it possibly can, and it's the week before.
Right.
So, and it'll be impossible to run over Easter, I think.
Absolutely, I agree with that. It's only concern is it's 1 week closer to winter.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
And so that's the issue. So it's gone back. Easter's there, but look, it's going to be
long weekend,
Anzac Day, long weekend.
Yeah.
A lot of other things going on at that time, but hopefully it's another great race that can stand on its own and get its right share.
Yeah, it was fantastic this year, and looking forward to next year. That is for sure.
One horse is already locked in.
Yes. Yes, certainly is.
For low breaks in Never Ending, so you've got the map out what you need to do.
Yes. No, looking forward to that. It was great this year and looking forward to next year. Just a couple of things. Northam last Friday night, Sweet Vivian for Paula Patricevic was a terrific winner, and a great win also by local resident was very impressive, and we touched on Bunbury was great. The Bray and Ethan podcast was outstanding as always. WA's Freak Underages. So Bomber will be tuning in. I've texted him
we might
to have a listen to.
Might have to get Bomber's son on at some stage. He's gun.
Have to work towards
coming to Claremont Colts.
Work towards getting that happen. You can make that happen, can't you, Bray? Good, very good.
Indeed, got to support the team.
Another good week, Michael. As you said, Chris Barsby was great.
Yep.
Good to have a chat with Chris, and some really good racing and some good value found by the boys. So hopefully it's a successful weekend.
You've got Friday night off, have you? No horses?
No, we've got a couple on Monday. At Gloucester Park, which is good.
Monday.
Looking forward to that.
And then Bunbury Tuesday night for this week. But you've got horses Monday.
Yes, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, as we're getting closer, you get to see these 2-year-olds going around in the different
it'll be a good
races. They've been,
and the other one with Artful Mickey on the inside of three of us. And it's a really good field, so should be great. Looking forward to getting down here to Gloucester Park on Monday, Michael.
Yep, hopefully the rain's gone by then, Morts.
Yes.
Had a bit of rain over the last 2 days.
Last night was heavy.
Very heavy, but actually looked at the track before and even looked at it halfway through the day. You couldn't even tell. It was.
But the heavy rain's the good rain?
It's the good rain. Yeah. It helps.
I learnt that from my man Michael Blakemore a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, no. So the track will be perfect tomorrow, just as long as we get a bit of a clear run at it. But it was perfect today when I had a look at it, even though we're supposed to get 55 mils over the last 2 days.
Yeah,
so I don't know whether we did, but
got a fair bit last night.
We got a fair bit though, and it's sort of been on and off all day today, but hopefully coming into tomorrow night we get a bit of clear air and everyone can enjoy the action of the Fremantle, the Rotary Club of Fremantle free-for-all pace.
Yeah, Jesse Moore, 80th.
Yep.
Gee, he trains some outstanding 2-year-olds.
Yes,
I always remember him as a real good conditioner of 2-year-olds.
Yep.
Won a lot of races based out there in Northam.
Yep, very
terrific.
good.
So that'll be good. And as we said earlier on, the Beau Rivage, book your ticket.
Christmas in July. Make sure you get in, and it's filling up tomorrow night, and also the last week.
It's always the busiest.
Really finishing off with a bang. So plenty of functions here tomorrow night as well.
That's good.
Got 5 or 6 functions throughout the venue.
Well, they've got a good night. They've got a good night's racing, and it kicks off at 5:17.
5:17, indeed.
Perfect.
All right, Morts, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks to Bomber, thanks to Ollie, thanks to Chris, and thanks to Bray for pressing all the buttons. Thanks to everyone for listening. Hopefully we found a few winners. Until next week, it's bye for now.